Welcome to the beautiful port city of A Coruna, a place known for the oldest functioning Roman lighthouse in existence, the Tower of Hercules, for its rich culture, beaches, and fantastic food. But it was also known for its fantastic football club, Real Club Deportivo de La Coruna. There was a time when Deportivo La Coruna stood at the pinnacle of European football. Known as Super Depor, they weren't just a team, they were a force of nature. The turn of the millennium saw Deportivo conquer La Liga in the 1999-2000 season, a historic triumph that crowned them champions of Spain for the very first time. Legends like Bebeto, Fran, Mauro Silva, and Juan Carlos Valerón graced the sacred pitch of Riazor, carving their names into the soul of Galician football. But Deportivo's story didn't stop there. Their magical run in the 2003-04 Champions League remains etched in football folklore. Who could forget that legendary night against AC Milan? Trailing 4-1 from the first leg, Deportivo produced one of the greatest comebacks in football history, a stunning 4-0 victory at Riazor that sent shockwaves across Europe and propelled them into the semi-finals. These were moments of pure magic, moments that made Super Depor immortal. Yet, as swiftly as they rose, the fall came just as hard. Financial turmoil, poor management decisions, and the departure of their star players triggered a tragic decline. Relegation from La Liga in 2011 was the first blow. By 2020, Deportivo found themselves in the unthinkable, the third tier of Spanish football. The mighty had fallen. Years in the wilderness, relegations, mismanagement. Super Depor faded into memory. Until now. This is the story of resurrecting the torchbearer of underdogs worldwide, so they can once again overcome Madrid and Barcelona to be champions of Spain and stand among the giants for years to come.
And so when I took over, Deportivo had just clawed their way back from the depths of the third tier. The Segunda Division awaited and expectations were modest. The media predicted an 11th place finish at 14-1 odds to win the title, perhaps a season of consolidation. But we had other ideas, or at least we did once we figured out how to deal with the squad we inherited. You see, the board had been busy, too busy. We had a bloated squad, the Black Friday bonanza of new signings, and no way to ship some of them off. And so faced with this reality, there was really only one way forward. No drastic changes. We brought in just one more, a quality striker in Conrad Harder on loan from Sporting to offer us an alternate option. To reach our lofty La Liga targets, we would have to milk every last ounce out of the quality we already had. At the heart of our team, a returning hero, Lucas Perez. In fact, Perez paid his own release clause at Cadiz to return to the club for a fourth time and become our savior. What a lad! As the best player at our disposal, Perez was a natural striker, but we needed him to be more. Rather than lead the line, he would dictate play as our primary creator in an advanced playmaker role, with a supporting cast that was a proper mix of experience and youth. Veteran Brazilian goalkeeper Halton Leite was a towering man that had enough experience to leave us assured in net. With Perez dropping into midfield, Mohamed Boldini, the Moroccan striker, would lead the line for us. Of course, with that man Harder as the alternate option. Then there was Sergio Escudero, a 33-year-old left-back with leadership in his veins and one who probably woke up with back pain but still owned the left flank. And then we had the young stars. Charlie Patino was a former Arsenal graduate, and he was also one of the only Englishmen in Spain not currently on a bender. He was a player with enough talent to make you forget that he had absolutely no business playing as a defensive midfielder. In fact, Mario Soriano, the other of the young guns, had more defensive capabilities than Patino himself. Soriano was promising, blessed with pace and agility, and technical attributes that would be good enough to storm this league. He would be our spark in attack. We set up in a 4-2-3-1, an ode to Super Depor's attacking intent. Nothing fancy, but with enough defensive cover centrally and width offered from the complete wingbacks alongside our asymmetric wide forwards. Now we would stick with this formation, but over time, some of the roles would evolve very slightly to better suit the players that we brought in. In pre-season, we started like a house that burned down. 5 friendlies, 0 wins, 9 goals scored, 12 conceded. A disaster. Maybe. You see, football is about timing, and when the league season kicked off, something clicked, but in the most dramatic fashion. And drama is something that we would become quite accustomed to. Our opener at the Riazor saw us go goalless for quite some time. We had tussled and toiled and even got very close to scoring before being called offside. It was Cordoba that took the lead in the 54th minute, leaving us 1-0 down on opening day and making us wonder if this was gonna be a horrible start. Before too long though, we found an equalizer. Davo popping up with a ball out wide left, cutting it back inside, and Soriano, that young gun, getting us level. Then in stoppage time, all the way deep in the 92nd minute, Escudero found Davo to make it 2-1. We thought we had snatched the latest of wins. And just a couple minutes later, Lucas Perez's corner found Boldini to make it 3-1. We had come back from the brink, but only to see a bit more action before it all died down. Jaime Sanchez with a second yellow, and now we were down to 10. And from that free kick he conceded, Zalazar's deflected effort rattled into the net, leaving us on tenterhooks. We eventually saw it off and were deserving victors on the day. Back-to-back wins followed at Burgos and Cartagena, and we were starting to sniff out some proper form. Those 9 goals in the first 3 had us sitting second on the log, but looming in the shadows was a name that will become quite familiar. Elche, a team with title ambitions, and one that would become an annoying rival. Elche were quite simply too hot to handle, and despite Lucas Perez's 63rd minute goal, we went down 2-1, and the stats show that we were battered. We would need to be a whole lot better before we got close to those targets. The brilliant thing is the power of momentum in football, and from late September to October, we had it in abundance. 10 games unbeaten, 9 wins and just 3 goals conceded. By game week 8, we were top. By game week 15, we had made it our home. But then came a blip. We picked up just 4 points from the 12 available in November. Our once impermeable defense had now been conceding for fun. But a blip is all it truly was. In December and January, we were undefeated in both League and the Copa del Rey, drawing just 1 in the league to Eibar. We were flying. Truly flying. But football has a way of humbling you. February was a defining month. 6 straight wins in January had strengthened our position, but then the first cracks. Up stepped Elche again to start things off with a 1-1 draw at Riazor. Then came our biggest test thus far, a Copa del Rey quarterfinal against Real Madrid. We had toiled and battled and stayed in it against a full-strength Real Madrid side, and in the 87th minute, we thought we had pulled off the greatest upset. Jose Angel giving us a 1-0 lead, just a few minutes to survive, to see it out and go through to the semis. But then, in stoppage time, oh so late, and Brahim Diaz popped up with an equalizer. Mbappe then missed a penalty in extra time, and maybe, just maybe, we still had a way of getting this done. Or did we? Brahim Diaz struck again, before Tchouameni struck next. And despite us grabbing one back from Boldini's cracker, Madrid went on to put 5 past us. Humiliation. This wasn't just a loss, it was a reminder. Madrid had crushed us, emphasizing that gulf in class we would need to overcome to challenge for La Liga. Were we really on our way back, or just another team to be put in their place? And from there, the momentum shifted. The team that once felt invincible wavered. In the next 13 league matches, just 6 wins. And as we neared the finish line, Elche overtook us. For 30 weeks we had led the pack, but now, with just 4 games to go, Elche, of all teams, had jumped ahead. It wasn't some Spanish giant, it wasn't Madrid, it wasn't Barca. It was Elche, and we were fuming. Could we respond, or had we thrown it all away? Football is cruel, but sometimes it forgives. Elche stumbled. 2 defeats in the next 3, and that meant we had 1 job on the last day. A draw would be enough. But this team, this Deportivo, was not built for safety. We took on Eibar, and we managed to find the 2 very important goals that would seal the win. We had done it. 87 points, 27 wins, 6 draws, and just 9 losses. 75 goals scored, just 39 conceded. champions. After 6 years in the wilderness, Deportivo La Coruna was back in La Liga. The legendary Lucas Perez popped up with 11 assists and 14 goals, while Soriano contributed 12 of his own. Sergio Escudero 11 assists from left back, with even more back pain now from carrying us. Heroes of a season we never expected. But just like Super Depor, this team will be defined by rising beyond the bounds of what's bestowed, turning ceilings into skies and limits into roads. This was just the beginning. Now, La Liga awaits. And unfortunately, despite finishing third, Elche beat Eibar in the semis, and then went on to win the playoff final, which means they will be joining us. Now, can we survive? Can we thrive? Can we dream even bigger? Or will that humbling by Madrid become the norm? The new season promises so much. New signings, heroes departing, rivalries, daunting challenges, and of course, upsets as well. This was just the preamble, and now the real challenge starts.
From the shadow, step by step, fighting hard, no more regrets. Every game we write our story. This is our road to glory. This is our time. We won't break.